Welcome to the Piked Antler Survival School. Today, eating deer head. Primitively cooked, cut the head off, throw it in the fire. Correction, throw it on the bed of coals. Hello world, Will White here with the Piked Antler Survival School, giving you a pro tip and suggestion. Eating food in the wild. Today we're talking about deer head. Here's your scenario. Survival situation or not, you're out hunting, out in the woods, maybe you're at a base camp in the woods. You're hungry, it's cold, you got a fire, you want to eat sooner than later. It's going to take a while for you to skin, butcher, quarter, and process all the deer meat for food later. So why not have something cooking while you're doing all that work? Like a deer head. So what we're gonna do today, let the fire die down a little bit behind me until we get a nice bed of coals. We're gonna essentially throw the head right on the fire. No foil, no container, nothing except for fire and what Mother Nature provided, the deer head. And we're gonna see how well the hide actually contains the meat and serves as its own container. I have done this before. The brain is delicious. The tongue generally comes out really tender and tasty. Even the palate on the top of the mouth comes out tasty. The meat all around the head, inside the head, in the neck, all that stuff is generally really delicious if cooked right. We're gonna see how this works here. No seasoning, no nothing special. Just literally putting the head on a bed of coals. We're gonna rotate it every. Want to keep that tongue in there and closed to seal it in as its own natural container. All right, it's been several hours. A lot of the bone is cooked away here. You still see some red meat in there, that's nice. The hide off the top of the head and the brittle antler are indicators that it may be done. Again, I'm experimenting. I'm using the lack of the hide as the indicator that it's done. So I'm gonna take this guy off the fire, let it cool for a bit, and we'll crack into it. It's pretty damn cold out here. All the hide has been, from what I can see, burnt and charred off. So we're gonna go ahead and show you the test. We're letting it cool for about 20 minutes. It's in the mid 20s right now, Fahrenheit. You know you're pretty good when you can crack into the head with a good size weighted blade. So let's hoping for the best. Whoa, too much. That's definitely ready. All right, so here we go. Well, some of it's not coming off so easy. Let's get a closer look, shall we? So as you can see right here, a little bit of wiggle. That's the brain matter. So we're gonna go ahead and scoop a little chunk of that out. Ooh. Looks pretty nice and steamy. Set that right there. We got some brain. Let's get a little more. Wow, this side's pretty damn tough. There we go. So what we can do is sort some of the bone out later. So we got a little bit of bone fragment in there, or a big chunk of bone. We're gonna go ahead and sample that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and get these set aside. Okay. I'm gonna go and get a spoon. For the video, I'm not going to eat this whole thing. You don't need to. You don't need to see all of it, but we're going to take a good amount of samples from each part of the brain, the mouth, the tongue. I'm going to give you my review on it. That is just top quality meat right there. So right now we're just extracting brain. I ate some. It's good. This eyeball's pretty well overcooked. But that looks pretty nice. You know, the front part of the eyeball, a little overcooked, obviously, but this looks pretty juicy. I'm gonna set that aside. One of my favorite parts. It's this guy, la lengua, the tongue. So in the past when I've done this, the tongue generally comes out pretty cooked pretty well just right. So get some of this out. We can save this bone, this jawbone later for bone broth after we eat some of this delicious steamy meat. Got a tongue here. Let's go ahead and, oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful, beautifully cooked. The cooking container is the head itself, which is key in this. And so far, using the hide as your, essentially your timer, is proven to be pretty useful. Is there any pallet? The pallet's burned away. That's unfortunate. Nope, that's not true. We have a little bit here. There we go. Oh, yes. This is also very tasty. It's the top of the mouth, the roof of the mouth. Ooh, this looks like a good cooked meat. We call this just part of the neck meat. See if we can extract this jaw a little more. There's not much to grab onto. Let's actually just go right down the center. Oh, that tongue is just so well, perfectly done. The nose, I wanted to sample the nose. Nose got burned off, I'm not surprised. So I can't do any nose to tail. Plus I don't have the tail. That does not look well cooked. So this is gonna go back on the fire. I want you to get a better look at it. You still see, you know, there's blood on my fingers just from this cut. So that is gonna get cooked, probably give them to the dog. All right, time for some taste tests. Whew. That just stinks. I'm not gonna bother with that. I think that's just well overcooked. Let's start with the tongue. So we got la lengua, the tongue. Ooh, very nice. This is the skin of the tongue. Tasty. Charred. Edible for sure. In survival, I'd be happy to have that. Tongue smells good. That is tender, juicy, wild taste to it. You can even see how juicy it is. You can see super close. That's a nice cooked piece of meat. Delicious. I'm not sure the nutrients of it, but I'm sure this has got at least 20 grams of protein. And this isn't even the entire tongue. Taste test, approved. Protein, approved. I'm not sure what part this was. I'll look at it later in the video, but smells good. Overcooked. Tastes like meat. Tastes like any other part of a deer. Any meat part of the deer. That just simply tastes like quality meat. Another good chunk of protein. Looking good on protein. The palate. Just a little bit of the palate that was left towards the front of the snout, the mouth. Let's cut into it a little bit. A little dark, a little overcooked, but still it's got a lot of pliability to it. So let's see. Yeah. Chewy. Not much flavor to that one. Doesn't taste as good as it has before, but still passed the taste test and the protein test. Winning all sorts of levels. Now let's move on to the eyeball. The back side of the eyeball. Front side, that's where the what we can see on the deer. But on the inside, we have this. So let's cut into it a little bit, let you see it. All right. Pretty nice. The texture immediately is like relieving, satisfying. Tastes like nutrition dense. Can't really pinpoint a flavor except for charred. Tastes almost like a liver if you understand the values of a liver. It's packed, like it's ridiculous what it's packed with. It may not taste all that great, but if you understand the value of the liver and the nutrients in it, and you focus on when you eat it, the taste, don't think gamey, think nutrition. So the center of the eyeball is where we're at. And that center part is pretty tasty. It's not the part that's like really hard. It's hard to tell because everything's cooked. Oh, come here. Okay, taste test, good to go. Protein, probably some vitamins in there that will help with eyesight. That just looks like a nice cut of meat. Look at the color on that. Look at that color. Yeah. It's always good to smell. This has been aging for a few days, so I'm always smelling a little extra. That feels and tastes like somewhat like an overcooked steak. Not too bad, but like I don't even know. I do medium rare, so well done. Feels and tastes like a well done steak without seasoning, but it still has nice flavor, like just good quality meat. That's a win right there. Okay, my favorite part, brain. Look how just wants to fall apart. Oh. It smells burnt. The brain has a lot of fat in it, and as you know from earlier, if I included it in this, 1 gram of fat is worth 9 calories, versus 1 gram of a carb or protein is only worth 4. So yes, we're getting our protein, not so much for calories, but protein, one, has calories, but we're looking at how that affects the body and how much we need it. Fat, we also need fat in our body to help everything operate well, and it's also loaded with calories, energy, slow burning energy, which is what we're designed to run on. Sweet sausage. Feels like sausage, tastes like sausage, but a little sweeter. As weird as it sounds, my mind, my current civilized mind is telling me gross. But as soon as I taste it, something like internal is telling me, yeah, you should be eating this. You're supposed to be eating this. Taste test on the brain, so far the best out of the head, with a semi-overcooked head. The brain came out great. The last part, a little bit of the jawbone. All right, resetting the palate. That's actually pretty tender. Pretty tasty, smooth, rich. Damn, that's really good. I don't know if it's a leftover taste of the brain or just the taste of this, but that's delicious. Okay, so far the interior part of the jaw, or medial part, tastes pretty delicious. Have a nice handle to eat from. And I can actually use this, if I wanted to scoop brain matter or to carve into the inside of the neck to get more meat. So this is a great tool to access the rest of the meat. Delicious, high source of protein and fat. Crucial in a survival situation. Don't waste the head. While you're butchering your deer, throw the head on the coals. Today took about 6 hours. I had to go make some errands. So the fire did go out, so I had to rebuild the fire. But I would say about 6 hours of cook time, rotating every 45 minutes or so. So next time, you try it. Don't waste a head. Get ahead. Stay alive as long as you can.